Hello, Phil here from Wings of Pegasus and welcome to another analysis video. If you enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So tonight's request is to take a look at a live performance from, I think, a Blu-ray set or something that's about to be released, and then the same performance that was recorded at the time, crowd shot footage, and hopefully to explain what's going on. Now, this is a band called Edu Falashi. It's a band that I haven't heard of before, so I'm just going to be taking a look at what we normally do here on the channel. So, as always, there are links in the description below if you want to watch either of these videos independently without me jumping into it. But what I'm going to do is jump into, to begin with, the Blu-ray performance. So, let me get this on screen. We'll listen just from the beginning. Okay, so first watch through of this video, something that I've noticed is, like here, that we heard something that didn't happen. As you guys know, I've been teaching guitar for almost 20 years. So when we hear something that happens, but when we see something that didn't happen, but we hear a different thing, my ears spot that. It's like, it doesn't make sense. And that just happened there. Yeah, maybe you can see that. But anyway, I'm going to move this forward to the vocals. I think the vocals is what the person wanted to focus on with this request. But I will just allow the vocals to come in.
For the answer, the fire is lighting the sky. Acclamation, they will shine. Here's the chosen one leading the fight against the tyranny. Go.
So, I mean, we can hear, you don't even necessarily have to look at the screen. You can hear that there's some kind of manipulation of the vocal going on here. And, you know, this kind of thing being, you know, really, really close to the F sharp 4. And these little spots where we just kind of drop off at the notes where, yeah, it certainly sounds like we've got calibration going on here. I'll let it play on. Oh, and that kind of thing as well, that F sharp 4. Okay, right, yeah, so we're definitely calibrated here. Yeah, so, I mean, especially with these higher parts, we can hear that it's being very much calibrated to A440 standard pitch equal temperament.
For the answer, the fire is lighting the skies. Acclamation, they will shine.
Now, what I have done is I've put the Blu-ray version in the left channel and the live audio in the right channel. And it seems like in the live version, we didn't actually even get the first vocal.
For the answer, the fire is lighting the sky.
Okay, right. So what we've got here is the vocal comes in, and you can see that the singer is singing the line, but nothing comes through at the actual show. And now he's looking at the microphone when we cut to now looking at the guitarist here, and I think he's switching on the mic.
The fire is lighting the skies.
And now he's back, and the vocal is back. But let me just listen on.
Acclamation, they will shine. Here's the chosen one leading the fight.
And okay, so what we've got here is from the actual show, on the right hand side, is actually a different vocal to then the vocal that you hear on the Blu-ray release. And the reason that I say that is because you can hear the difference in phrasing. Like, the vocal was completed earlier in the right channel.
The fight against the tyranny go. The shadows.
And again there, if you listen carefully,
The shadows
started on the right just before.
will define you so. Beware of villains like you.
And you could hear there the way that he went into a more aggressive sound live, but then in the Blu-ray it's a totally different voice. So yeah. What we've got here is the Blu-ray release, and I'm gonna actually try and just get rid of the vocal pitch monitors for a second so that we can see on screen what's going on, because we do have this camera with the actual crowd shot footage that sometimes comes into shot, and here we go. So we've got the movement of this camera that is synced up, and you can see with the hand movements that this is absolutely the same performance. And on the left hand side, obviously we're inside this camera now, but this is shot from the crowd kind of at the back. So we know that this performance, because everything is perfectly in sync with the movements, it is the same performance from left to right, but the audio on the left for the official Blu-ray release, whatever it's going to be, has a different vocal placed over the top. It's not the vocal that was recorded on the night. So, and when I say that, it's not the original vocal that's now been pitch corrected or auto-tuned. It's a totally different vocal that has been pitch corrected. I'm kind of now seeing where we can... Oh, here we go again. Look, we've got this pan in, and the camera is coming in at that point. So, and you can still see that the movements are absolutely, synced up. So it means that if you were attending this gig on the right and you heard it here, I wonder if you'd think, well, hang on, it didn't sound like that when I was, the performance that I'm now getting on Blu-ray that doesn't sound like it did on the night. So now we're going to be jumping into another level where we now have the instrumentation isolated, because that bit where it didn't quite sit right with what we were seeing and what we were hearing. So what I'm going to do is, I mean, this is obviously really technical playing, and sweep picking arpeggios, and it's kind of very impressive, and especially on the Blu-ray video, it sounds really, really accurate. But I'm just going to listen to this. That's the bit that looked like it shouldn't have actually been like that. Let's have a listen now to the actual audio. Hey, there you go. So that's why. Listen to that again. Take it back. So there was a note there that shouldn't have been in there. And the bend wasn't quite where it should have been either. He didn't quite fret it properly. But I think there's maybe that wrong note beforehand that shouldn't have been there. But anyway, going back to the official release, that's why it didn't make sense, because we're not hearing the audio of the actual live performance. And when we're listening to this, I mean, keep listening. I mean, this is all absolutely pristine from a technique perspective. Let's listen to the same passage. And what have we got going on in the right channel now? This is the actual audio from the performance. And even in this section now, we're getting notes. I mean, we're getting a lot of kind of muted notes here. So let me just listen to that again. So you can hear there's actually not any real fretting going on there. Is there an open string in there as well? So that's what it was live, and now on the Blu-ray. So there's absolutely no comparison between those two. So again, I mean, this is something that you're going to have to be really careful of, because watching this live performance, imagine bands and players who are maybe working at, you know, sweep picking and trying to do this live, and they see this performance, this live performance, and singers as well might see it thinking that that's where the bar is, that you've got to play to this kind of level live, moving around on stage, but the reality actually is that kind of thing. Full disclosure here, I don't do sweep picking and arpeggios and all that kind of stuff. It's not really a style that I've worked at or am particularly into. But just in the case of this performance, we've got in the left channel a really kind of clean, a really clean sound to the arpeggios. But then when we get over to this live performance, you can hear that we're not getting these distinct notes, you know, that, you know, whatever it might be. So the difference between the live and the Blu-ray, again, as a player, if you're learning to play and you do want to work at techniques like this, then there's having this realistic expectation of what it's like to do it live compared to, you know, sitting down comfortably and you know, just practicing it day in, day out. I'm just going to take this back to have another quick listen. Okay, right, so we had that last note comes out, but it's almost like we have this kind of like there's loads of alternate picking, but we don't necessarily get the notes. It's just kind of like that. I'm just going to take it back and listen to the official audio and see what we get there. Yeah, so the official audio is absolutely pristine with the run-up, so it's not the live audio either. So, I mean, it is interesting because in this particular case, we've got the vocals have either been re-recorded or taken from another place, pitch corrected, and then put over the Blu-ray version. And the instrumentation, at least the guitars, have been re-recorded and overdubbed onto the live footage. Again, it's something that I think people have just got to understand now, that this is going to be potentially a regular thing, that live performances are going to be the imagery that was recorded on the night, but the sound is potentially going to be a studio recorded, maybe a post-recorded track that's then overdubbed. But it's a little bit misleading because that wasn't the sound that was produced live. And I think, especially playing in this kind of style, for people learning to play, you've got to have those realistic expectations of, you know, things that can happen live, and that it's not going to always sound absolutely A1 perfect unless you go into the studio and record it, do a comp take of all of the solos, and then put that over the top of your footage. As I always say, I do look at everything objectively, and even though I am into kind of heavier genres of music, I'm still going to just look at everything the way that I look at every genre, and I'm just going to point out exactly what's going on. So that's what's happening in this particular case. But thank you for this request. Keep those coming in the comments section below. As always, let me know what you guys think, and if you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys at the next one. Rock!